until my will runs dry. Send all your sins all over me, baby, baby.
I have been getting questions about, what happened to me being a insurance agent, and I just been ignoring y'all on TikTok because that's where the questions be at, on TikTok. And to make it short and simple, y'all, I just didn't like doing it anymore. I just didn't. I feel like it was too much work that I just didn't enjoy. Real estate is a lot of work too. Like, don't get me wrong, real estate is a lot of work. But you gotta think, you're working with that particular client for a shorter period of time and you're making a larger profit, with helping them look at houses and stuff. Granted, you do waste a lot of gas and time just in general because you're taking them out to look at houses. But with insurance, you're literally dealing with that customer for a long period of time unless they just like switch to a different company. So I had clients that were my clients for years. And some clients, they had something like they had an issue every freaking week. They had a fire you had to help them put out every freaking week or every other month. They're shopping around and, now you got to try to fight to keep them because if they leave, that means that, you're not making a profit off of them anymore. So, of course, you're going to fight to keep them on your book of business, So it was just a lot of busy work that I just didn't enjoy, to be honest. And then I was running into a lot of people, and the majority of the people that I had this issue with was the people from social media. When they found out I was a insurance agent, they reached out, which is great because social media is literally free promo, especially if you have a large following. So they were getting insurance policies, and then I guess they was getting it long enough to get a car, get their car off the lot, and then they will call and cancel the insurance policy. And what happens then is I get the commission up front. Whenever they purchase that insurance policy, the next payday, the next day that that they pay out commission, I get that commission right away. The full amount. So if their policy is for 6 months, I get the commission for that 6 months, for that 6 month policy, right? When they call a month later to cancel, you know what they do? They take that commission back from me, y'all. They take it back. So yeah, that's not fun, So I was having chargebacks. I end up having a lot of chargebacks once I, put out that, hey, I opened an insurance company. A brokerage. I was an insurance broker. I had opened up a company. I had a lot of business that came through just from social media, and I was so excited about it because I was like, yay, social media is working, it's doing what I needed to do. And then all those people, well, I ain't gonna say all, a big majority of those people got their insurance policies just so they can turn around and cancel. So it was just, y'all, it just wasn't enjoyable anymore. I found myself not really making the type of money that I needed to make to continue to, pay for my insurance license, my what is it called? My insurance for my business, all these fees that I had. I had an office at one point in time. I'm paying the overhead for this office. It was a lot. It was just a lot. So I decided to just kind of back out of it altogether. Some years ago, y'all know my friend Roxy. She was a real estate broker, and Roxy had actually sent me a lot of new clients when I was selling insurance, because when she was selling houses, she was referring her clients to me for their homeowners insurance. And once they would get their homeowners insurance, 9 times out of 10, they were switching over their auto also because they were getting, a discount for having home and auto together, packaged together. So she used to try to get me to be a real estate agent years ago. She was just like, get your license, come on with my brokerage, you know, let's take over the world. If anybody who know Roxy know, that's what she be saying. We're gonna take over. We're gonna take over the real estate business, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, at first, you know, y'all, one thing I don't know if y'all realize about me is that I love real estate. Like, I love real estate, like, in a sense of I'm always looking at real estate videos on social media. I always want to see, like, I'm always comparing the houses in this state versus the houses in this state. I like renovating houses. I like building houses. Like, everything that I really enjoy does, like, it is in real estate, right? So I don't know why I was fighting it for so long. But I finally just gave in and was like, you know what? Let's try our hand at real estate. Let's see what we can do. We love it. We enjoy it. Why not? So that is what happened to me selling insurance and getting into real estate instead. So far, we're getting there. It's a process. It's like, it's with any other business. I am under a broker because I don't have a broker license. You have to, in the state of Missouri, you have to have your real estate license for at least 2 years before you can get a broker license. As of right now, I have no desire to get a broker license, to be honest. Not to say that later on down the line that I don't, you know, decide, hey, I want to be a broker. Let me go get my broker license. Right now, I just don't have the desire. I'm still just trying to get my feet wet in real estate. Plus, it makes sense since y'all know we do build houses. We do renovating. We renovate and flip houses as well. And it just takes out the middleman, y'all, because it was costing us so much money to hire agents to, you know, to sell these houses that we had. So it made sense for me to go ahead and, you know, be a realtor. A realtor, so that I can sell the properties that we have and we don't have to pay, you know, a middle person. But after that was my first intentions, y'all. That was literally my first intentions. But after I found out how much money you spend to keep your license every year, I was like, oh no, we gotta take this a little more serious because it is not cheap. It is not cheap to have your real estate license, y'all. So that's that. I've been talking for like 12 hours. I just literally had to stop myself. I've been talking to y'all for about 12 minutes. I really was not planning on making this into a talking video, so I do apologize. I do. But with that being said, if you live in the state of Missouri and you are looking into purchasing a new home, hit your girl up. Somebody in the comments was like, oh, be careful with, you know, your number, putting your number out there. And I'm like, y'all, that is not my personal number. If y'all thought for 1 second that I would put my personal number on social media, you are funny. No, that is not my personal number. You can call or text that number. 9 times out of 10, you won't get directly to me, but you will get someone who, you know, who works directly with me. I have somebody in place that handles all of that, that filters everything, because I understand with, you know, the whole me having a following on social media, it makes the wrong type of people come along and they're just calling and texting just to be calling and texting, just to be annoying or whatever. So I have somebody in place to filter those calls and text messages before they even come to me. So with that being said, make sure y'all not on no BS when you contact me on that number, on that line, because you might not even be able to get to me, you know. Y'all, I told y'all we getting ready, right? So while I'm getting ready, I'm just gonna like give y'all updates that y'all need to know right quick. Also, the whole video about Leah transferring to a different school, I said that I was going to give like a longer version on this platform. And honestly, I was going to make a whole video about it, but I don't know. I haven't had a chance to make a whole video about it. So let's do like a crash. Let's do a crash course on Leah transferring to another school. First off, did I put any of this on? I don't think I did. Y'all, I have to oil my skin really good up under my like certain parts, like where I'm aging, and I have like fine lines and creases and shit. Y'all, it's the fun police. Like, why the hell is you not answering your phone? He called me, y'all, but I was talking to y'all, so I'm gonna have to call him back in a second. Because if I don't moisturize, baby, you will see every line, crease, and cranny. I had to learn the hard way. Plus, I have dry skin in certain areas on my face, so that helps with like making it look super dry and stuff. But anyway, so Aaliyah transferring to another school, y'all. It's people that make it seem like she didn't transfer a million times. I get it. She transferred twice, so it might feel like she transferred a lot. 2 times for an athlete is really not a whole lot, because there are student athletes who do transfer every year. Leah did not transfer every year. So I don't know why y'all keep saying she transferred every year. She did not transfer every year. She transferred twice. When she went to Western Illinois was a mid-major school. And what that means is that it is a D1 school, but it's smaller. It's in a small conference, or, you know, it's not a Power 5 school. You know, when she went to Western, y'all, we honestly just didn't know no better. We didn't reach out to any schools when she was in high school. So the schools that was recruiting Leah literally was just schools that was recruiting her just based off of them finding her, because we didn't reach out to nobody. Lexi, whole process was totally different. If y'all want me to share, like, you know, the process of trying to get recruited by schools, even if it is a mid-major school, let me know. I'll do a whole video about it, because it was a whole process. We had to learn it, and I feel like I'm a pro at it right now. So yeah, let me know in the comments if y'all want that video on like the steps that I took to get Lexi recruited to a D1 Power 5 school. I'll make the video. But anyway, so we didn't know no better when Leah went to Western. It was the school that she decided that she wanted to go to. Me and the Fun Police wanted her to go to UMKC. Leah did not know that at the time, because we wanted her to be able to make her own decision without her trying to like make the decision that she felt that me and the Fun Police wanted her to make. Western Illinois was good to her as far as they took care of everything. Books, tuition, room and board. Like, we didn't pay for anything when Leah went to Western Illinois. However, we didn't realize that, you know, a lot of, you know, big schools, they get stipends. We didn't know that. So Leah could have been getting money in her pocket. She didn't. We were just happy that she was having her tuition, room and board, and all that stuff paid for. But everything else while Leah was in school, we paid for. Like gas, when she was going to the grocery store to get snacks, like all of those things we were still paying for. When Leah probably could have went to a better school her freshman year if we knew any better. Coming out of high school, Leah was not a slouch. Leah was a hurdler. She was a jumper. You could throw Leah in a relay. Like, Leah was multi-talented coming out of high school. So I feel like she really could have went to a different school her freshman year in college. But again, me and the Fun Police, y'all, that is a lot of blush. I am a blush girly, but sometimes it makes me a little nervous when it be too much. I'm gonna blend it more though. So, fast forward, she does good. The coach at Western turns her into a phenomenal triple jumper, which was great. To this day, she still has a relationship with that coach. He is no longer coaching, which, get back into coaching. I'm not gonna say his name, but if you happen to be watching this, I'm gonna need for you to get back into coaching, sir. Like, coaching is where you need to be. I can see you, you know, being that big name coach in the future, having created some amazing athletes, with Leah being one of them. But anyway, so she does still have a relationship with him. Like, she talks to him from time to time. Like, they'll text from time to time about, you know, what she has going on as far as jumping, and he's helped her make decisions as far as finding another school, things of that sort. So now she's like this great triple jumper, and also she did good in long jump, right? So we like, she should be able to go to a bigger, better school. And then there were some things that happened at Western that we wasn't really, okay with. But that wasn't the main reason why she transferred. So she goes into the portal, and when she goes into the portal, we still not really understanding the way the portal works, these different conferences. We not knowing any of this stuff. So Leah not really hip. Like, she not hip with the SEC and the Big 10 and the Big 12. And I think back then it was like the Pac-12. She not understanding, like, she don't know about those type of things. So when she was visiting these schools, she had no clue the SEC, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't care. Like, she didn't know, she didn't care. She wasn't really, aware of like the opportunity that was in front of her. So anyway, long story short, I'm trying not to make this too long because this is a vlog and I do want to get on with the rest of the vlog. So long story short, she had 2 schools on the table. Well, it was more than 2 schools, but we had narrowed it down to 2 schools on the table, and both schools were in the SEC. One school that she did want to go to, if you know, you know. I'm not going to continue saying her name or whatever, but if you know, you know, because I've had told the story before. They kind of played her a little bit after she decided that was a school that she wanted to go to. So that left Kentucky, the one that was on the table that was giving her a good offer. So she did not want to go to Kentucky, y'all. It was a whole ordeal of her going to Kentucky. Me and her had words. Like, we got into it. She stopped talking to us for a couple of days. Like, it was a whole ordeal about her going to Kentucky. She came to her senses, came back and was like, all right, I'm gonna go. So she commits to Kentucky. When I moved her to Lexington, y'all, when I tell y'all, Leah complained from the time she got there, and I kept telling Leah, if you walk into something with this negative mindset, like, what do you think you're gonna get out of it? Negative shit, right? So she goes to practice, she's complaining, she's like, it was the coach, y'all. It was the coach. Like, for some reason, her and the coach just did not mesh. She did not care for the coach from day one. Me and the fun police, we was fine with the coach, because we was like, he sounds knowledgeable to us. Sounds knowledgeable to us. Where do we sign? But her on the other end, she was just like, he was giving too much of teacher, and he was just long-winded. She felt like everything that he would explain, it was just like this long, drawn-out explanation. And if you know anything about Leah is a lot like me. She's severely ADD. You're gonna lose her that way. Like, you gotta get to the point and say what it is that you're trying to say and move on. But it was other things, that she disliked or whatever. She felt like he wasn't gonna be able to take her where she needed to go. I thought she was tripping, so I'm yelling at her, fussing at her, telling her that she needs to just suck it up and give the damn coach a chance. Y'all, I got something in my eye. Give the coach a chance, and it didn't work, y'all. It just didn't work. She kept complaining. And then come to find out, when she got cool with her other teammates, they had the same complaints. So that's when we realized that. I'm gonna call you right back. I'm in the middle of recording a video. All right. So that's when we realized that, y'all, I almost got hella makeup in my eye. Cause it's literally burning. But that's when we realized that she probably wasn't tripping, that, there was definitely a disconnect, and, obviously it was something about that coach that she wasn't feeling. So she went to the head coach, told him how she felt. He said that he was gonna basically take over her training, and that was before she was gonna go in the portal, because y'all, Leah was gonna go in the portal back in December. And we was like supporting it. Like, all right, that's what we doing? All right, let's go. Like, let's do this. But when the head coach told her that he was gonna take over, you know, she ended up staying. Portal closes. She goes on winter break, come back. The changes had not been made yet. Like, she was still with the other coach, and the portal was closed, so she was kind of stuck there. Anyway, fast forward, Fun Police reaches out to the head coach, you know, because now we are concerned because, you know, her mental health is really kind of like being affected by this. So we was concerned. It was indoor season. As y'all know, if y'all was been following along, her indoor season was not a great season. You know, we had a lot of tears, a lot of disappointments. So yeah. After the Fun Police talked to the head coach, he let him know, like, hey, you know, I'm working on some things. I'm gonna take over her training. You know, it's fine. But I think by then, everything was just already kind of messed up. Like, I don't think it was no coming back from what had already, the foundation that was already set. So she started working with the head coach, and nothing was getting better. Y'all, I had got to the point I had told my baby to lose weight. As y'all know, Leah is super tall. She's 5'9". She's a little over 5'9", and she's skinny, but she was heavier than she was her freshman and sophomore year. So I'm like, because, you know, she's filling out. She's becoming a woman, a grown woman, so she's filling out. So I'm like, well, maybe your body is just not used to moving the extra weight. You know, maybe you need to try losing some weight. I'm having to direct her, or I'm having to help her figure out how to lose weight. And if y'all only knew how horrible that made me feel as a mom, especially with the way that society is right now, and you know, everybody wants to look a certain way. I'm trying not to get emotional about that, because that was an emotional time for me, having to like tell my baby to lose weight. Like, that wasn't easy at all. And she did it and still was not doing well at the track meets after she did it. So it was like, here I am, making my baby self-conscious about her weight when there's nothing to be self-conscious about, and it didn't even work. So anyway, she just did not have a good season at all. She's had numerous of conversations with the head coach. I think the head coach, his way of coaching, some of his coaching tactics probably work for certain people, but I think they did not work for Leah. And when I say that, I'm meaning, like, you know how coaches have to know what buttons to press to get you to like go hard. I think the buttons that he pressed that might work for certain athletes just did not work for her. It made things worse. So it made her more like self-conscious of a lot of things. So it had got to the point where, you know, her mental health was like deteriorating, y'all. It was bad. It was bad. I was having to have conversations with her literally every day on how great she is and how she deserved to be there just like everybody else, and you know how she worked hard and all these things, and it just did not work. So she did decide to go into the portal early on, but she had a conversation. So she had a conversation with her head coach, and she told him, I guess in the conversation, she told him that she was gonna stay. But when she came home, she told me that, I guess in the conversation, she was just still leery about some things that they had talked about, which one of them being who's going to coach her that following year. And it wasn't clear on, you know, if he was going to continue coaching her or if she was going to have to go back to the other coach. So she was just a little, you know, concerned. And I told her that I felt like, oh, you're going into your senior year, just stay. I said, if you feel like you're giving the bare minimum, you just give the bare minimum in return. I did say that. Y'all, I am a parent. You know, I'm gonna be on my kid's side regardless. So I'm like, just get your education paid for. and just finish out strong and, you know, go on about your business. That was my advice to her. The Fun Police said something different. Fun Police was like, we going, let's if you want to go into the portal, we going into the portal. However, I don't think the Fun Police thought that she was going to wake up that next morning and go into the portal. After she did talk to this damn coach and told him that she was staying. So I don't think the Fun Police knew that. That was where I feel like Leah went wrong. I feel like a lot of stuff she did it the right way. Mainly because, well, not mainly, but of course I'm a parent, you know, I'm her parent and I'm trying to teach her how to do things the right way. So when she's coming to me about stuff, I'm telling her, you know, do X, Y, and Z, and she did. But for whatever reason, this time around, she just, I don't know if it was an impulsive decision that she just did it. But it wasn't the right way to do it. I feel like she should have went back to the coach and let him know where she stood and how she felt, and, you know, let him know that she had thought about it. And she still was, you know, uncomfortable with the conversation, and, you know, like, have another conversation with him and then going to the portal, not going to the portal behind his back. I was like, Aaliyah, that is not how we do things. Like, you should not have done it that way. But I don't think she was comfortable to go back and talk to him for whatever reason. So she did it. It's done. Whatever. Halfway into the process of her, you know, visiting other schools, she started, you know, realizing that it was going to be expensive for us to relocate her to the two schools that she had narrowed it down to. She narrowed it down to Arizona and U of H. And I think she started realizing, like, this is a lot. Like, this is a lot. I should have just probably just stayed where I was at and just make do. So she did contact the head coach at Kentucky and asked him if he would take her back. And he didn't say no immediately. It actually took him weeks because he said, you know, he had to think on it or whatever. Was me and the Fun Police happy that she, you know, asked him to take her back? No. Mainly because, not because we didn't want her there, but mainly because we are firm believers that once you make a decision, you kind of gotta see it through. Like, you know, no doubling back. Like, we just one of those people that we don't double back once we make a decision. So we wasn't necessarily happy with that decision, but, you know, she's grown and she felt like that was gonna be the best decision for her to try to go back. So that's what she did. She tried. And yeah, it took him a little minute. So I honestly told her, hey, I feel like that's your answer right there, because if he really wanted to take you back, it wouldn't take him this long to, you know, to make that decision or to let you know that he was going to take you back. So I felt like that was her answer. She had already went on ahead and made a decision to go to Arizona. So that is that. But yeah, y'all, her experience at Kentucky was not all bad. So I don't want people to think like it was this horrible, you know, experience and nothing like that, because that wasn't the case. It wasn't all bad. She had fun there. She had friends there. There was other coaches on the coaching staff that Leah absolutely loved. There was, I don't know what her position is, but I'm not going to say any names. But there was a lady that was in one of the positions that Leah had to communicate with her often, and Leah absolutely loved her, like loved her down. And I feel like she was one of the ones who cared about Leah and her well-being, and she was one of the ones that took the time out to talk to Leah when she knew Leah wasn't doing too well, and she knew that things, you know, wasn't like she wasn't performing well, and she knew that Leah was down. She took the time out to like have conversations with her and things like that. Leah absolutely loved that woman. And honestly, she was one of the reasons why Leah went on ahead and agreed to go to Kentucky, because even at her visit, she, you know, had developed this, you know, this somewhat of a bond with her. So yeah, that's just what happened in a nutshell, y'all. Like, nothing super bad or anything like that. I just feel like it just didn't work out, and I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes we don't understand what the reasoning is, and most of the time we never will understand why things happen, but I feel like it happens for a reason. I feel like, you know, God is leading her in the direction that she is supposed to be. And I think that she's gonna be fine. Arizona is okay. Arizona is good. Like, she likes Arizona. She don't like the fact, I don't know why my eyes are just watering like so bad. It never does that. She does not like the fact that Arizona is so hot. She actually hates that it's so hot there. But so far the coaches, you know, they're good. They have helped her a lot during her process of like transferring into a different city. Especially her jump coach. Like, he's been really, really good at, you know, trying to help her make sure that everything is good. So yeah, I think she's gonna be in a good place. I think she's good. Mind y'all, when she was at Kentucky, I think Leah had clocked out. So I don't want y'all to think that like all of it was just, you know, coaching. A lot of it was coaching, but some of it was on Leah too, because she had literally clocked out. So when she did move to, you know, the working with the head coach, like, I think her confidence was shot. And I think she had already put in her head that she wasn't gonna do good. So yeah, some of it was on Leah. And Leah takes full responsibility. Like, even when I was talking to her, when all of this was going on, like, she kept saying, she was like, it gotta be me. It gotta be me. Like, she's like, I don't know what else it could be. It gotta be me. So she takes full responsibility on the role that she played in her success at Kentucky. It's just, you know, it's just one of those things. And for the people who don't know or don't understand, like, being a student athlete, like, when you go somewhere, when you're an athlete, you have to go somewhere that, you know, you can thrive. And if you don't thrive, like, what is the point of being there? You know what I'm saying? So that's why some athletes do be transferring too. So, y'all, I talked way too long, but at least I let y'all in on the little story time. I gave y'all 2 story times today. I gave y'all Leah transferring, and I gave y'all why the hell I stopped selling insurance. So this is a long conversation. I'm gonna finish getting ready because now it is 10:46. I wanted to be done by 11 because I'm supposed to be meeting her at 12. So I got about 15 minutes to play around with. I still need to put my mascara on and something on my lips and do something to my hair. But I will be back.